What's up everybody, David here, and today we're going to be talking about an upgrade for your studio that no one really talks about, and that is your computer monitors or your display. Now, if you've ever watched my channel before, you'll probably notice that I've always used one 23-inch computer monitor. It was 1080p. Now behind me are two 27-inch 1440p monitors. This is an upgrade I've been wanting for quite a while, so today I'm going to give you 4 reasons why you should consider upgrading your display as well. Reason number 1, upgrading the size of your display generally makes it easier to see. If you have a 23-inch monitor running at 1080p and you go to a 32-inch monitor running 1080p, everything simply gets bigger and it gets easier to see. Most of the DAWs that we use nowadays definitely have their fair share of small text, so getting a larger screen that's just easier to see will make it much more comfortable for you to work. Number 2, when you upgrade the resolution of your display, you will see more. Resolution is where it gets really fun. Now, as an example, I took my new monitors and I scaled them down to 720p, 1080, and then back to 1440p for the resolution, and I'm going to show you guys what kind of difference that makes. This is what Studio One looks like in 720p, now 1080p, now 1440p, and here's all 3 of them next to each other. Now this makes a pretty big difference, and that's just because as you move to a higher resolution, you can fit more onto the screen. That means less scrolling up and down, less scrolling left and right, less moving around the project because you're now able to see more at once. For example, take these screenshots once again, look at the mixer at the bottom of Studio One, and look how much space it takes up on the 720p as opposed to the 1440p. Now keep in mind, I did not touch the project at all. I just scaled down the resolution. I didn't touch the size of the mixer or anything like that. So that is how the mixer translates through those different resolutions. And you can see you get a lot more space for the tracks and for the edit window as you move up to a higher resolution. Now, taking another DAW into consideration, this is really great for Cubase users because now you can have more modules on the inspector open at once you have a higher resolution. This will just save you time not having to open and close all the inspector modules all the time, which is a perfect segue into my 3rd reason why you might want to consider upgrading your monitors, which is efficiency. Now, whether it be upgrading for the resolution or the size, no matter what you do, it's going to make you more efficient. Not having to scroll up and down, scroll left and right, open up things, close things because you need that space for something else, that will save you a lot of time. Yeah, you can say, well, scrolling only takes me half a second. Opening a module takes me a quarter of a second. Yeah, you could say that, but you're looking at it the wrong way. Take all that time it takes to do that and add it up over 3 hours, over 5 hours, over 10 hours. Think about how long you're sitting to mix something and how many times you open and close that one module, or you have to scroll around the project and stop mixing just so you can see another portion of the project, or close something just because you need that space for something else. That stuff adds up, and if you're doing this as a living, or even if you're doing it as a hobby, why not be more efficient? Why not get more done in the little time that you might have? Number 4 is plugin support. Now, this is something I've seen quite a bit actually, where people are using plugins that are not built for a 720p monitor, and literally part of the plugin is now cut off. They cannot use the entire plugin. Take, for example, Steven Slate Drums 4. Now, for the longest time, I was on a 720p screen. I could not save any of my drum kits from that plugin because the save button was cut off because I was on a 720p screen, and SSD4 just simply did not work with that resolution. I've seen a lot of people with the new Modern and Massive, for example, a few in the group that have had part of the plugin cut off because it's really not made to work with that kind of resolution, because most resolutions nowadays are 1080. So I'm not saying it's definitely a problem with every plugin, but plugin support is something to worry about because I have ran into that myself and I've seen others have the same issue. Now keep in mind, guys, I'm not telling you to go to a 27-inch 1440p monitor or 2 of them. This is obviously a pretty, maybe a little overkill for most of you. It takes up my entire desk actually. I love it. It works for me. It might not work for you. So I'm not saying that everyone needs to have this, but I'm saying that for one, if you guys are on a 720p display, I would definitely say I think you should at least get a 1080. If it's in your means and you can afford it, at least get a 1080p monitor, because that's going to make a huge difference in your recording experience. As you saw with Studio One, there's no room to do anything when you have multiple windows open on 720p. So I guarantee a lot of you are opening and closing the mixer and spending a lot of time scrolling when you could be spending time mixing. 1080p monitors are really cheap now. You can get them used for like 50 bucks, 60 bucks on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, so I think it's definitely a worthwhile investment to at least get yourself up to 1080p. You can go 1440, you can go 4K. I guess this is like technically 2K. You can go 2K, you can go 4K. There's a lot to go after 1080p, but at least get yourself to that so you have a solid experience across every DAW and every plugin. Another display I've seen people use quite often nowadays is an ultra wide display, which is, like this example, just really ultra wide. That's personally not my thing. I know a few people who use a regular display on their wall, then an ultra wide below it as like the mixer type of display, so that's another cool option. You can get that in a lot of different resolutions as well. So don't forget about that as well. There's a lot of different options nowadays for displays. If you guys are also curious what kind of display I'm using, I will put a link in the description below. I got them on a great sale at Newegg, but they are awesome. Nonetheless, I will put a link in the description so you can check them out for yourself. And that's it for today, guys. We spend a lot of time on plugins and recording and mixing and other cool tricks like that, but sometimes I think we forget about the other tools that really help us be more efficient and to work faster and to just make work and life easier. For me, your display and your computer monitor is definitely one of those areas and tools. That's why I upgraded. That's why I wanted to talk to you guys as well. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and let's have a little fun. Let me know what type of display setup you guys are using. I am a massive tech nerd, so this is really fun and interesting for me. So let me know if you guys are using one display, multiple displays, a really large display, a really small display. Let me know what you guys are working with below. Once again, I'm a tech nerd. This kind of stuff is really fun, so I think this could be interesting. And of course, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. I put out new videos every single week, and you don't want to miss any content. Also, make sure to ring that little bell so you get notified when I post new videos. And yeah, I think that is everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is David, and I will see you next time.